Hey, it's your boy the Crypto Goon, and shout out to all my crypto goons for pulling up once again. I have some great news for all of my crypto holders, and especially my people that are also interested in real estate. We got breaking news. The Trump administration has just provided guidance for people that hold cryptocurrency to be able to use that to purchase a home. So let's hop into the details. This gentleman that we're looking at on the screen right now, Pult. Don't quote me on that. I don't know his exact name, but he is the U.S. Director of Federal Housing, FHFA. Now, let me say, I am a real estate agent. I'm licensed in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Just to let you all know, so I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the housing market and the buying process. Now, the organization that he is a head of, they make the rules for people that want to purchase a home using a government-backed loan. Just to give you an example of a government-backed loan, we're talking about, for example, an FHA loan, right? And then there are some conventional loans. These loans that are government-backed have lower down payments, right? So 3%, 3.5%, 10%. And because of the lower down payment, the government guarantees the loans, saying, hey, if this person defaults, we will refund, or provide the money back to the lender that took the loss. Okay. So these are government backed loans. Now, 4 hours ago, he said, after significant studying and keeping with President Trump's vision to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, today, I ordered the great Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare their businesses to count cryptocurrency as an asset for a mortgage. Okay. Now he has the actual order right here, and I'll go and explain this in detail and read through this. Order issuing directive to consider cryptocurrency as an asset for single family loans delivered to uh, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Whereas Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the enterprises, maintain a pivotal role in the U.S. housing finance system by providing stability and liquidity to the secondary market for residential mortgages through prudent standards to help ensure sustainable long-term home ownership. Whereas cryptocurrency is an emerging asset class that may offer an opportunity to build wealth outside of the stock and bond markets. Whereas cryptocurrency has not typically been considered in the mortgage risk assessment process for mortgage loans delivered to the enterprises without converting the cryptocurrency to US dollars prior to loan closing. Now, just that section. Previously, let's just say you're buying a home and the federal government or your lender wanted to just see some money, that you had some money. At first, if you sent them, hey, I have money in Coinbase, right? They say, hey, we can't use that. You would actually have to liquidate that, which causes a taxable event, and put the money into your bank account. Okay. They are changing that effective today. Further reading, whereas U.S. Federal Housing, FHFA, has now determined that the consideration of additional borrower assets in the enterprises, single family mortgage loan risk assessments may enable the enterprise to assess the full spectrum of asset information available for reserves to facilitate sustainable home ownership to credit worthy borrowers. Now, that portion, what they're referring to is when they say asset information available for reserves. Okay. Now, when you're buying a home, depending on your credit score, okay, the lower your credit score, the more what they call underwriters, the people that actually look through your finances and determine, okay, can this person really afford a home? They want to see something called reserves. Reserves are money that you can fall back on. Let's just say in the event you have a shortfall with your income, you get fired from a job. They may say, hey, we need to see 3 months of reserves, right? So 3 months of reserves, let's just say, for example, if your mortgage payment is $2,000 a month, they will want to see $6,000. Now, you used to have that $6,000 in your account. You didn't use it for your down payment, but they just want to see that you had 3 months of mortgage payments. Well, now, if you have $6,000 in Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP that is on a regulated exchange like a Coinbase, you can use that to show that you have the reserves and you do not have to liquidate it, and you can just still hold on to the asset. Okay. Now, again, liquidating it will cause a taxable event, right? No matter how much money it is. Again, I'm not a tax expert, right? But when you sell any asset, stocks or cryptocurrency, and you withdraw it, that is a taxable event. You have to pay taxes on that money. Okay. Now, further reading. Now, therefore, U.S. Federal Housing, FHFA, as conservator, hereby directs each enterprise to prepare a proposal for consideration of cryptocurrency as an asset for reserve in their respective single-family mortgage loan risk assessments without conversion of said cryptocurrency to U.S. dollars. Each enterprise is directed to consider only cryptocurrency assets that can be evidenced and stored on a U.S. regulated centralized exchange subject to all applicable laws. Additionally, each enterprise is directed to consider additional risk mitigants per their own assessments, including adjustments for market volatility and ensuring sufficient risk-based adjustments to the share of reserve comprised of cryptocurrency. Prior to implementing any changes, each enterprise must submit and receive approval from its board of directors prior to submitting to U.S. Federal Housing FHFA for review. This order is effective immediately and should be implemented as soon as reasonably practical. And he signed his name. So what this shows us is they understand that people are buying and selling and using cryptocurrency. You have some people that don't even really even use a bank as much as they used to, right? Like myself. And you have these external wallets, and you're using these different exchanges. So they're saying, hey, we understand that you're keeping your money over there, and we don't want it to limit you when it comes to these underwriters, right? Underwriters want to see everything. Again, the underwriter is the person that goes through your finances, looks at your 401k, your stock portfolios, your bank account, your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns. And they use that information to come up with a pre-approval amount and if you can actually afford a home. And again, in the past, even today, right, before this came out, you couldn't use cryptocurrency. You couldn't use it. You couldn't use any of those holdings. You could have $1 million in cryptocurrency sitting in, on your external wallet, or, in this case, they're saying it has to be on an exchange. So you can have $1 million in your Coinbase and they will discard that. Okay. Because before this, they looked at cryptocurrency as something that's speculative. It's almost like to them, you show, how you're making money on options. And if you don't have the tax returns to show, that money is legit, or that you're, telling the government that that's what you're doing, they can't count that either. But now they're saying, hey, we can count this cryptocurrency. So this is a big step forward. It'll help a lot of people that are heavy in the space, right? And again, when it comes to reserves, the higher your credit score is, they don't really care about reserves. If you have like a 720 and higher, and you're in the 800 club, at least the late 700s, they won't ask you for reserves. Okay, they generally, and unless it's a risky loan. Okay, and when I say a risky loan, I'm saying something where they're lending off of just like your they're lending off of your bank statements, or they're lending off of, they have some loans where they may call them like a no doc. Like you're not giving up any documents, they're just doing a credit check. You're not showing any tax returns or anything, right? In a situation like that, they may want to see reserves, right? Even though it's a no doc, and no doc generally means no tax returns. Okay. And those generally have a higher down payment. So hopefully they clarify reserves, because normally reserves means that you have several months of, payments put away, but you could possibly be able to use it for your down payment too, which again, you have to give it to your tax person, because normally when you liquidate these things, it becomes a taxable event. However, it's a lot different with your 401k. So let's see if they weigh those two the same. If you withdraw money from your 401k to buy a house, you're not taxed the same as if you just withdrew it just to do whatever. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. This is great news. This is a great step forward for, everybody in the cryptocurrency community, especially people that are heavy in the game. Okay. But again, I just wanted to just bring you all this information. I'll put the link to this tweet in the description. And again, it's your boy, the Crypto Goon, the #1, never the 2. Shout out to all my goons. Crypto Goon out.